is Rachel, and it's not surprising that most of the videos and podcast episodes that I do are related to how to support a more challenging child, how to respond effectively to negative behaviors and moods and attitudes, the things that take so much of our time and our energy. But what about those other children that we're raising? What about the siblings of the more high maintenance children? You may have noticed some behaviors that they're displaying that concern you, but you may not know exactly how to address it or how to effectively get through to them and show them that you support them as well. So you may have noticed that a sibling of your more high maintenance child gives in a lot. So maybe they want to watch a certain movie or listen to a certain song, but their brother or sister insists that it should go another way, and so this sibling gives in. You may also notice that siblings of more high maintenance children may be trying to keep the peace, maybe trying to reduce the conflict in the home by being easier or by being really good all the time. And that may be concerning, so maybe you've even brought it up with this child or these children. You may have said, hey, you don't have to give in all the time. You don't have to keep the peace all the time. It's not up to you to do that. But very honestly, just telling our children that they don't have to keep the peace, they don't have to give in to their high maintenance brother or sister, just telling them that doesn't tend to change their behavior. And the reason it doesn't change their behavior is because they need two things before they are going to start to stand up for themselves or stop trying to keep the peace. The first thing they need is to know how to deal with the energy that arises when they do stand up for themselves or when there is conflict in the home. Most of the time, the reason these kids and these adolescents are giving in is because they don't want to deal with what happens when they don't give in. They don't like the energy that is around when there's conflict. So the way they cope with this discomfort is to give in, is to try to keep the peace. So we can't ask them to do something else if we don't give them another way to cope. The second thing they need is actually the belief that they are important enough to stand up for themselves. So they may have the tools to be able to do it, but they've seen over and over maybe that their high maintenance brother or sister is louder and maybe even stronger and that they're getting a lot of attention. So they may not believe that their perspective is as important. So we actually need to show them that their perspective matters too. And that's actually what I want to give you an action item on right now. How can we show the siblings of more high maintenance or challenging children that they matter too? A simple way to do this is to ask them what it is like to be the brother or sister of their sibling. So if you have a son, Joey, who is really loud and takes a lot of your energy, you have a daughter, Sally. You might take time with Sally and say, hey, what's it like to be Joey's sister? You might even, if that's a little bit too vague, you might even ask about specific scenarios. Hey, Sally, what was it like when Joey insisted that we watch this movie even though you wanted to watch something else? Just asking them what their perspective is like, even if they're not sure what they're feeling, just asking them is showing them that they matter too. Now, sometimes they are going to come up with some pretty negative responses about how much they dislike their brother or sister, and that may be hard to hear. But I really want to encourage you to listen to them even as this negativity is coming out. Don't convince them that they should love their brother or sister, or don't justify why their brother or sister is doing what they're doing. What you want to do is just listen, because this negativity is inside and it needs to be released in order to make room for some advice you may have for them for how to handle these situations. If we don't let the negativity come out first, they will not be open to learning the skills and tools that they need to start to cope differently. So again, it's not just about telling children that they don't need to give in. It's about teaching them the tools to do something better when this negativity inevitably arises. And it's about showing them through evidence that they matter enough too to be able to do something different. Now, if you want to hear a little bit more about this topic, how to support siblings of more high maintenance or challenging children, go ahead and listen to my podcast episode this week. You can find that on my website, rachel-bailey.com/57. I'll be back again soon with more tips. Take care.